second half turnaround. Now, the first half completely confused me because Crystal Palace have been very, very, very bad coming off Europe. I think they've only got 1 point coming off European fixtures, and they even lost against Strasbourg and got bossed against Strasbourg and lost, right? So you're thinking Manchester United with 1 game a week come out with intensity. We have to be zapping these teams. I think it's 9 teams are playing in European football this season. Manchester United are fresh. 1 game a week. We should be coming out blitzing teams. Intensity, pressure, press, counter press, every single buzzword you could think of. Manchester United should be doing from the off. But it was Palace who were winning every duel. Mateta bullying De Ligt. Euro was out of sorts. Wharton was getting on the ball and doing whatever he wanted to do. Munoz was getting up. I looked at it. We got life maybe with Ismail Yassar coming off. I think that was very fortunate for us. But they played with the intensity that we should have been playing with. They played with calm as well when they were getting on the ball. And I was thinking to myself, this can't be right. Of course, we go 1-0 down. Absolutely sloppy play from Euro. Now, beautiful reverse ball from Wharton, but Yoro's got to do better. That he's tripping over his own feet like Bambi. You know what I mean? He was just tripping over everywhere, falls into Mateta, and he's not having a great time at the moment, Yoro. But, you know, we got to stick by him, give him the support. He looked devastated on the bench. But this is the life of a young player and also a young centre-half. You don't get many teenage, he's now 20 years old, but you don't get many teenage into 20-year-old centre-backs playing in the Premier League week in, week out for a club at this level. So he's going to have to stick in there, be mentally strong. This is life at United. It doesn't come easy, right? They should have had more. You know, Mateta had an opportunity where I feel he was greedy. Wharton had a point-blank shot. Thought he should have scored that as well. Mateta also had another chance where he should have buried it. So we caught life in the first half, but sometimes you're going to need to ride that luck against a Palace at home. 12 o'clock. It just sounded like a dark, dark time, especially for us with our record there, right? Second half, though, comes and the intensity. Of course, Casemiro had his chance in the first half. I thought he should have scored. That's usually Casemiro's bread and butter from the set pieces. But the second half, the intensity rose. We were not losing 50-50s. We were battling. We were charging at players. The press started coming. And then eventually, not saying that we were dominating the game before the goal, but just that intensity that we played with paid off. Little clip over the top by Bruno from the set piece. And that is a brilliant finish for Joshua ZIRKZEE. I want to talk about ZIRKZEE real quick because I don't think ZIRKZEE's amazing or anything like that, but I don't like when players are being scapegoated. I thought last week ZIRKZEE was massively scapegoated. I don't think he played anywhere as bad as the internet and the discussions were. I think he's a player that just doesn't really fit what Manchester United are looking for or what Manchester United have been about in history. So he stands out, you know. He really stands out and people have their eyes on him. And he's one of them players that anytime he plays, there's a lot of complaint about him. It is him. There's Dallo, Kobe lately. There's a few players that are becoming into that mold that anytime they don't do something wrong, or Dorgu, it's like World War. You know what I mean? And I didn't think he played bad against Everton. And I thought today also, first half he was poor, but the second half it was better. And I'm actually pleased for him to get a goal. And that was a brilliant left foot finish. Something that we don't see enough from him. We don't see him put his foot through the ball hardly ever. So that was very refreshing for him to see. I don't like when people are being a scapegoat. Again, I don't think he's the best player in the world. I'm not a massive fan of him as a player. However, I don't think the level of scapegoat that he gets sometimes is fair for what he is actually doing out there, right? He can improve, definitely, and he has to improve. But I just think that sometimes, to be a Manchester United number 9, I genuinely think you need to be an all-time great. I think you need to be an all-time great to be a Man United number 9 in this team. Because you're not going to get much service. You have to make sure every touch that you do get is clean. And you're laying people off, you're bringing them in because you don't get much touches. So when you do, you have to make it count. You know, you're expected to create something out of nothing. You're expected to run the channels. I think to be a Manchester United number 9, you've got to be in the Haalands, the Harry Kanes, the you know what I mean? That level if you're going to succeed in this team. And we've seen it over the years. That's why when I look at Sesko, I know young 21, 22-year-old, look at Hoyland, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And this is the case, you know what I'm trying to say, because we don't really create many clear-cut chances for our strikers. Sometimes against Everton, we were using ZIRKZEE like he's Fellaini. We're just swinging the ball into the box. It's hard, and I think people underestimate how hard it is to be a number 9 for Manchester United. It's very, very hard. And another person I'm pleased for, of course, he got the goal, is Mason Mount. He, in fact, is a great example for a Joshua ZIRKZEE, because there was a time where anytime Mason Mount played, the fans complained. The fans were like, what is he doing? All he does is run around. What is the use of Mason Mount in this team? He's clueless. You know, that was the talks about Mason Mount, and he has changed that narrative amongst the United fans through just working hard and through actually showing his value on the pitch. And again, he showed it today with a lovely finish. The wall could have done better, but that was a lovely finish from him. They gave it as a Bruno assist. I guess it is, but that's the way the game is nowadays, right? But Mason Mount is someone that did change perspective on him, you know, because let's be honest, guys, the best that we see of this Amorim system, the very small best that we get to see, Mason Mount is involved. Whether he's linking up, whether he's counter-pressing, whether he's leading the press, whether he's scoring. The best we've seen of Manchester United in this formation usually has Mason Mount in the team. That's how you change perspective, right? He showed his value. He showed his importance. The same thing for Casemiro. Fans are now fine with him on the pitch for now because he's changed the narrative. And that's the thing for ZIRKZEE, he's got to look at as an inspiration. Dallo, he's got to look at inspiration. Dorgu, these guys have to look at maybe a Mount, maybe a Casemiro as somebody that as inspiration to change perspective of the fans. You know what I'm trying to say? So I thought Casemiro was really good in the second half. Quiet game from Ahmad. I don't think it was the best Delit performance. Yoro was obviously poor. Mbumo was poor in my opinion. But I thought Casemiro in the middle, in the second half especially, he was really getting about, really trying to make things happen in the second half. So credit to him for that. I still think there needs to be some situations. I saw Bruno starting to get more energy as the game went on. I still think there needs to be more situations where Bruno Fernandes moves up, even if it means if Mbumo comes off or Mbumo goes up top, and then you bring a Kobbie Mainoo into midfield, because I still feel like sometimes the game is a little bit too scrappy. Kobbie comes on in the last minute. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do anything. But I think the game becomes a bit too scrappy. We're just focusing on snapping. But sometimes you need to get on the ball, slow it down, and make the opposition work. But honestly, guys, I didn't expect to win today. To go to Crystal Palace away from home as Manchester United in the way we are after that embarrassing performance at home against Everton, I'm going to take this result and I'm going to smile about it. And I'm going to sit out with my feet up and watch Liverpool and watch Arsenal v Chelsea. We take that. Where does that put us in the table? It puts us 1 point behind Sunderland for the top 4. The table, honestly, is like the championship. I keep saying it weekly. 1 win, 2 wins, your whole season changes. Your whole season looks different if you just can win 2, 3 games in a row. As we've seen, we won 3 games in a row and all of a sudden the season outlook changes. We just need to improve our performances. We've got enough quality in the team to do a little something, just a something. Let's go and do it. You know what I mean? Let's go and do it. But guys, we take that 3 points. Ruben Amorim gets the win against Glasner. And we move, man. We move. Honestly, 3 points in the bag, away from home. 21 goals scored, 20 conceded. That's not good enough, but 21 points. Villa have 22, but they're drawing right now. Sunderland have 22. Chelsea have 23, and they play Arsenal today. So look at that. You could be within, if Arsenal win, you could be within 2 points of third place. You know what I'm trying to say? That's how mad this season is, guys. That is how crazy it is. But guys, like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. You know I'm going to be there for an Arsenal-Chelsea reaction. So make sure you guys are checking out our channel, FCM today as well. But make sure you are here for that Arsenal-Chelsea reaction. I'm expecting a great game there. It's your boy, CultureCams. I'm out.